I'm glad to be here, Vincent. And I love that this is for writers and to be able to share. I actually have 7 books myself, and I help my clients. Um, uh, Everything from children's book publishing and children's creation to, books that are fiction, nonfiction, instrumental messages out there in the world. So it's a pleasure to be here.
I can't wait for you to offer this audience so many golden nuggets from your own journey and, like you just said, helping others publish. Would you mind introducing yourself on a personal note to our audience before we dive into book talk?
Hi, I'm Shelly Hunt. I'm a 7-time author. I have multiple companies, but I help put people's messages on the map. And so, with that, one of the things that is a great marketing tool, I have a marketing company, but I also have a PR company and other things, a product development company. But one of the things that I love to do is help people and assist people in getting their messages out into the world. And many times people become authors and they think this is it. This is the golden nugget. Oh, sky's going to crack open and the sun's going to shine down and you can kind of sit back. Well, the book is an offshoot of you. The book is a product. The book is a marketing tool for you to be able to declare expertise more in your field or what you're talking about. Whatever your great message is for the world. And it's a great tool for messages for that. It's a great way for you to get on the news and get in as an expert, is to be able to have a book that you present about yourself. And I don't mean literally about yourself, I meant for yourself.
You're exactly
Because,
right. That marketing tool.
and many times authors see the book as a separate entity, right? Like this is going to open up the pathways. Well, a book is not going to necessarily, the sky's not going to crack open, but it may open some doors. The other thing is the authors a lot of times don't realize you're the main product as an author. This is an offshoot of you. And if you think of it like you're a tree, there's going to be all these different branches that come off of you. One of the other things is make sure that your book can be offered in multiple forms. And so what do I mean by that? Well, one book can be turned into multiple products. One book can be turned into an audio product in a heartbeat. Hey, if you're good reading stuff, go for it. Or you hire someone to read it that's a professional reader. That's more my style. I'm not as good at it, verbalizing reading. But if you are, then make sure that you do that. And because we have technology now, you don't have to go into the studio necessarily. Your studio can be in your home, just like many of us. And many are on their phones. Many are on their iPads, their PDAs, whatever you want to call it. And so you want to be able to make sure that it's also possibly on Kindle, that it's also possibly an ebook. And an ebook is easy to do. It has a little bit different formatting, and many people think, well, if I turn it into an ebook, it's automatically a Kindle. That's not true. That's different formatting. But the good news about it is once it's done, it's done. And then you can offer 3 or 4 different types of delivery for your content. The other thing is, and most authors already know this, but I have to cover it, which is legally. You want to definitely make sure that you're filling out your copyrights and that you are, if this book is going to incorporate a brand, your brand name, you want to make sure that you've trademarked your brand name. Again, this is just something that you want to be able to do out of the gate. The other thing a book is great for is actually being able to put into your press kit and to say, look, I am an expert in this field. There are many ways to get your book out right now. Some people think, oh, it is the biggest thing in the world to get my book into Barnes and Noble or whatever it is. that's all fine, but it's going to sit on that shelf unless there's some marketing that goes along with it. And so you really want to think about what business ground are you laying? It's really super important. I had a woman at one time who came to me, and I know I'm going on, sorry, Vince. I had a woman one time who came to me, and she was on Oprah. And she had been on Oprah with her book when Oprah was really big before OWN, and she was still on CBS. And so she went on Oprah, and she really didn't have that foundational coverage that we're talking about right now. And so she went on Oprah, and this book, the sales, of course, people are like calling in. There's all these sales. She's so excited. Okay. So she doesn't necessarily have as much stock that is needed. Okay. So you want to make sure that you have some stock in hand or some form of delivery. And that's why I'm talking ebook and some other things, because one, it saves you money, it saves you time, and people are very accustomed to it right now. The other thing was she wasn't prepared when they recognized her as an expert in her field to be able to present herself. So you really want to make sure that you have your bio. You want to make sure you have a press kit. These are easy things that you can do online. You know, I mean, nowadays it is the good news of the pandemic. Okay. We all got very friendly with being, you know, in our homes and working online and finding others that are online. It shouldn't cost you a lot of money at all, but it can make you a lot of money. And it's definitely going to be an asset, because the true product isn't that book. It's whoever's sitting in your seat as the author. You are the real product. And this is just a carrot of one little thing that is a part of your journey and your message to the world. So with that, Vincent, I just thought I'd drop a few little things.
Incredible golden nuggets to just start the episode. She gave a lot of great advice there, but it all comes down to hard work. You can put the book out there, but it will sit in the shelves figuratively or on Amazon unless you put in the work. And that's something I think we both do. We are always putting in the work. What led you at first to becoming a published author, Shelly?
I was working with clients, and what I found was there was certain material and certain things that kept coming up over and over and over again. And I went, wow, you know, I'd really like to be able to teach more people or share my message with more people. For example, The Faces of Feminine. The Faces of Feminine, it's a trilogy. It's the business, the power, and the spirit. And I wanted to create something where another woman, because it's a woman series, men can read it. It'll probably tell you a little bit about us. You know, I know men are always trying to figure us out, but I wanted to be able to share the material in a bigger way so that I could spend more time with my clients doing other things. So I could say, here is a component of, you know, and here's another part of it. It is great for marketing. It is great for marketing. Oh, what do you get? You get a free giveaway. You get the book, or you get a chapter of the book. So it's a great for trickle marketing, you know, like tickling, I almost said, because it's true. And the other thing is, because it had more of a reach, some of the messaging, I would take some of the quotes and put it out. And so I actually, at one point, would get the quotes and had somebody just blog the quotes, you know, just to bring traffic in. And so that's what kind of led me to it. The children's books, because I have a children's book publishing company, the children's books I did was because I wanted to teach my daughter certain principles, you know, and I wanted, one of the books is To Think is to Create. Like, you know, your thoughts affect you, and they physically affect you, and they affect your emotions and all these things. So it literally, though the stories are me and my daughter sitting on a bed going on this journey together about what is to think is to create. What does this mean? you know, and I think that and it's funny because it actually became a bestseller without ever putting it out on Amazon or in Barnes and Noble or anywhere, just because of the messaging and some of the marketing. You know, one of the things that you definitely don't want to do, and I refuse to do, but I got a lot of advice on it, is you should sell your books for 90 cents or 99 cents, right? Now, there's a time to do that, okay? Because you can reach bestseller author. And if you don't know where those increments are to be a bestseller or to be an international bestseller, then you need to know that, okay? Because just like I looked up when I did my first children's book 20 years ago or whatever it was, and went, "Ooh, you know, what do you mean it's a bestseller?" Like I had no idea of where that increment is of 7,500 books or whatever it is. So you definitely want to know that, but do not, other than those circumstances where your eye is on additional marketing or a stamp, okay? After that, do not discount your message to the world. It's like one of the biggest gifts I could say to somebody, because people, if you discredit your work and devalue it, so will others. And most successful people will tell you this. People pay attention when they pay a little bit, than when it's kind of like, here's your loose change. And you didn't go through all of this work and all of this to share your message with the world, to have it kind of discredited and thought of less, you know? And so, but you have to be in alignment with it too. So if you go, well, my book's going to be $159, but in the pit of your stomach, you go, I don't think anybody's going to pay that. Well, they probably won't. Right? But if you go $19.99, $32.99, and know where is the break even, just like in any business. How much does this book cost? How much did these graphics cost me? You know, that's the other thing. Own your cover. Own your artwork. I cannot stress that enough. Yes, people think, oh, I got to do copyrights for the content. Do it for the cover. You need to own your stuff. That is your intellectual property of part of who you are. So there's my other 10 cents.
This episode has been filled with endless advice. She's given, especially new authors, a lot to be prepared for. A lot of things she shared today. At the time when I put out Left for Dead, my first book, I was unaware of those thresholds of where I needed to hit for bestseller. On the solopreneur budget, it was as far as I can push it, but I still gave it my all. And now, of course, the books all do better as I have my podcast shows and I have other areas where I'm guesting on shows and my message gets out there a little more. Normally, I would ask to hear about your latest book, but I want to give you the opportunity to talk about any book because you do have 7 published pieces of work. Which book would you like to shed light on for our audience today, Shelly?
I would probably talk about Those That Serve Succeed. And Those That Serve Succeed is about business principles that go not only, it goes in any industry, and it's really a different mindset about interactions with others and relational currency. And so it really has to do with changing the paradigm of our thoughts and how our actions are in regards to sales, in regards to income, in regards to service. Because if you want to have financial success, find a need and fill it. And if you fill that need, people are going to buy what you have because they're going to need it. But it's never give it to me. And I always joke about it. I put my hand out and I say, what does this say to you? Most people say, pay me. What if it's, how do I serve you? And how do we play the game of bigger service and bigger value out there in the world, no matter what industry we're in? So that is my newest book.
Thank you for sharing that. I want to thank you for being so generous with your endless advice over and over and over again today. I love how you described it as a tree. And I agree with that, where your brand, I thought the book was going to do crazy things, but it did, like you said, open up a lot of doors because I was a published author. I was getting emails, answered emails inbound, and it is a marketing tool as well where I can use it as a business card sometimes where we'll do book swaps and all of the likes. Would you mind telling everybody where they can find you, say hello, where they can find your books?
Absolutely. So you can find me, Shelly Hunt, on the internet, ShellyHunt. You can find me at The Women of Global Change. And you can also find me at successisbydesign.com. And you can find me on social media, Facebooks or Instagrams or whatever. Reach out, and I'm always about assisting people in shining their message out there in the world in a bigger way and setting it up for success. You didn't do all this. Business is meant to free us from the chains that bind us, not so we're bound by the chains of the business. Okay. And it's all how you set it up from the foundation. So that's how you find me.
Thank you for inspiring us right all the way up until the end. And be sure to say hello to Shelly. She shared her businesses as well, the website. She is the founder of 3 companies. All of that information, all of that inspiration can be found on That Entrepreneur Show. The episode link will be in this description. Shelly, I want to thank you so much for joining me and ending my day with a great recording for our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe so you stay current on all of our episodes.